Greetings, everybody. I'm Haven the Hare, and welcome to a new version, or a new version. Welcome to another campaign diary. This one is going to be for my campaign called The Wandering Few. This campaign is named after the name that the group of players, decided to call their cast of characters. I didn't have a name for this campaign until then. This is actually the second campaign I designed as a homebrew campaign for 5e. That is the way I always have done things, which is why the other campaign diaries are so weird for me. It's actually running a canned campaign based on an established world and setting as opposed to creating it all from scratch as the players go. This is my more preferred way of DMing. So this particular campaign I designed when my daughter wanted to play more than just her one-on-one. I did create a one-on-one campaign for her that we started off playing, and she still loves that. We still play it occasionally when she has some friends over, if she just wants to play just herself. But this is the first campaign I designed that was for a group of players. There's been a large cast of characters with this. We've had some turnover. About half the party has moved on, and we've had new members and new players come in. I will go through the rough cast of characters real quick here in the beginning, at least of the starting cast, and then we'll introduce the new members as we go. I will be doing some How I Even Did It videos of these as well, so you can see behind the scenes how my brain operates on how I create a homebrew campaign, literally from scratch, and the fact that I actually design it backwards, which I learned actually how to do from storytelling and writing novels. So I've already kind of written how this whole thing ends of this three-part campaign, of which we have completed Chapter 1. So we are actually going to pick these campaign videos up in the middle, or not in the middle, but at the beginning of Chapter 2, after Chapter 1 has happened. I feel like it's still a good part to start. I mean, for Pete's sakes, if Mercer can do it when they moved on to Critical Role, I can do it here. And I will go back and eventually make a big-ass video that is the entire synopsis of what happened in Chapter 1. However, I will link my Scabbard, my Scabbard link to this campaign, so you can follow along if you'd like, and also read the entire long adventure that was Chapter 1, which took us over a year to play. It was a lot of fun, and it was cool to introduce because a lot of the players who were playing this were either new to D&D or new to at least 5e. So it's been interesting, especially since this was my first real delve into DMing for 5e. All my other DMing up to this point was like 2nd edition and a smidge of 3rd. So all of my DMing experience carried D&D has come from back then. And in between that time period, I was doing other stuff like Cyberpunk and Cyber Generation. Enough about me. Anyway, you want to hear about the campaign. That's more how Haven did it stuff. So this campaign has a very huge cast at this point, which if you go look at the Scabbard, you will see the long list of NPCs and PCs that are part of this. Part of that is because we had some turnover. Some of the members are not with us anymore. But the current cast, as we start up Chapter 2 of The Wandering Few, is thus. We have KU, our Wood Elf Druid, Salona, our Half-Elf Rogue Assassin. We have Lore, our Gonzi Cleric. There is also Angie, our human fighter with a dark and mysterious past, Sellsword. And then lastly, we have Remy, who is our rogue. She's not an assassin, but just she's your all-around rogue. She hasn't really led on to her specifics yet. We'll call her a knife-wielding rogue. So that's the cast of characters. We are starting off after they had just finished a large battle, and this is the synopsis of what has happened in the 2 months after a very large battle at the Dream Spire. The Dream Spire being a magical enclave of wizards that was being used at the end of the last chapter by some evil mages to do some bad things. Go read the whole thing. The short version of what you need to know is they were trying to destroy the barriers between the mortal plane and the feywild. They partially succeeded at times, causing rifts to open up between the various planes and this one, and the mortal plane. Those rifts I would discuss later in greater detail, as it's actually part of this. So after the battle at the Dream Spire, the party returned to the city of Bareswell Point. They were greeted as heroes, paid handsomely by Lord Thomas, the ruler of Rattan, the kingdom in which Bareswell Point is the capital of. Bards were singing songs. They did interviews where they told the great stories. Many a party was happening, as well as they were also given a keep about 2 miles outside of Bareswell. That used to be a nobleman's house, and before that, a guard post back when Bareswell was a lot smaller. At this point, though, it has apparently been unoccupied for a few years, and Lord Thomas decided this would be a way to keep the party close and keep the wandering few for future missions, is to give them a keep. So they have been given Hill Point Keep as their own personal house for the party. I apologize, 10 miles. 10 miles southwest of Bareswell Point is where the keep is. Back when it used to be part of the border. It is a nice little keep on a small hill overlooking a lot of farmland. Very cool. In the 2 months since the Battle of the Dream Spire, the party has busied themselves doing their own thing. In that time period, however, the empire to the south, the Ilibryns Empire, has decided that it is all Lord Thomas's, and specifically Rattan's, fault for the rifts that have opened. Since the Dream Spire was located in Rattan, they have convinced their own citizens that it was all Rattan's fault. And that empire is now willing to go to war because they feel that Lord Thomas's response to the damage done by the rifts was inadequate, and they are willing to step in and take over by force if necessary. This has led to high tensions at the southern border, major recruitment going on, lots of troop movement, and a major force buildup along the southern border, the northern border for the Ilibryns Empire and the southern border of Rattan. This has caused a lot of tensions, a lot of grieving, as people were either conscripted into the army or voluntarily went to go defend their country. As well as Cuttlescar, the Copper-born, or Copper Dragonborn, who once was the city guard for Bareswell Point, has now taken on a new role as the captain of the Rifters. The Rifters were an organization put together by Lord Thomas to handle the damage done by the rifts opening, whether that be by removing the elementals that had spilled forth and were causing havoc amongst the countryside and in small towns and villages of Rattan, or by repairing those damages caused by them. Whatever was done, if the rift opened and let something happen, whether it be elementals, undead, fey, whatever the damage was, the rifters were sent to take care of it by either repairing it, destroying beasts, whatever was needed. Cuttlescar took this very diligently, recruited many men, and dwarves and humanoids and many people to his banner to do this. So the rifters force grew very quickly. Some members of the rifters were even, but the party knew, from, say, one specific one, from the Tremor crew. The Tremor is a land train that they used for transportation from the city of Bareswell to get to the Dream Spire in our previous campaign. Read up on that later. The last part would be that Madrigal, she'll have to tell me how she really wants that name pronounced, took off from the group and proceeded to follow Ilibryns, who is the Lord Elder Fey that they had faced at the very end of that battle, to be found out the true antagonist of the entire plot to crash the realms was his. Having a little bit of vendetta for the fact that he had kidnapped her for a short time and there was some mental torture involved, she's taken upon herself to go track him down. Unfortunately, she hasn't been able to find him. And startlingly, some of the members, while on their own travels, specifically Kayu, traveling with her aunt, who she had met in the Feywild, while actually with Ilibryns, they've been trying to get back to the Feywild to track down some of Kayu's past and history, now that it has come out that she actually has a blood relative going back to one of the Elder Fey herself. So it has been found that once they broke the spell that was trying to crash the barriers between the planes, that the planes seem to have lost their connections entirely. They try, with the help of her aunt, Kayu tries at numerous points to get to the Feywild and can't. Madrigal is off searching for and we'll talk a little more about her later. But she at least checks in at least once, I want to say, that she's run into the same problems. The short version of this is that it seems that the barriers to the different planes, both elemental, undead, or the land of the dead, the land of the shadow, shadow plane, they've all been cut. The normal places of power where the planes were close, no longer open. Spells that could normally traverse between the two dimensions no longer work. It is almost as if the mortal plane has been completely severed from the rest of the planar existence. This is troubling, and as KU is actually dropped off after getting a letter back at the keep, KU brings her worries, or expresses her worries of this could be a greater problem than known, and she's gone off to go searching for more. I will look up the aunt's name later. I apologize. That's one thing that didn't make it in my notes sitting here. Unfortunately, as we reach about 2 weeks left of this 2-month period, all of the party members get a letter of summons from Lord Thomas. Lord Thomas is inviting them all back, unfortunately for a funeral. Uriel, who used to be the captain of the Tremor, who had joined the Rifters during that time, unfortunately has been slain during his duties as a Rifter. And they are holding a state funeral for him, and the party, since they had gotten to know him pretty well after the Tremor and as his duties with the Rifters, has summoned them back to Bareswell for the dwarven funeral to be held in one of the taverns. And that is where we started chapter 2. The party is regathered at their keep after hiring a few members. I will list those. The first session actually involved the hiring of NPCs to run their new keep. That was done during this time by Lore and by Salona. And that's where we started off, with the funeral. So there's the precursor. There is the start of chapter 2. As one of my players expressed, oh my gosh, so much tension, so much possibilities. And as I expressed to her, stories don't happen in a vacuum. Peace is a vacuum. There's always something going on. There is multiple fronts that the party is now facing that could lead to the stress and the tensions. Something could explode at any moment. And I've always found it create really great drama and tension. Tension makes for a great story. So there you go. That's the precursor. I have been Haven the Hare. Please do watch the rest of the campaign videos. We've actually played 2 sessions of this, so I'll hopefully get those 2 campaign videos up, and we'll actually express exactly what happened with those the first set of campaign videos for the Wandering Few here in a bit. Do watch how Haven did it. I'm not going to do one for this because this was purely just storyline. If you want, feel free, and I can come back and make a How Haven Did It video for this video to give you some background on why I did what I did. But it really is just story. So it's up to you. You, the audience, tell me what you want to do. That being said, I have a Patreon. Feel free to, if you want to help me out, feel free to subscribe for that. Even if it's just $1 in my hat, always adds up. I will never monetize this channel. If you want to help support me, feel free to buy my card game, 5-Minute Sword Fight, link down below, or buy a chainmail dice pouch from my Etsy store. I make chainmail dice pouches. As of the filming of this video, I have not reached 100 subscribers. At 100 subscribers, I will give away a chainmail dice pouch to anybody in the continental U.S. I will randomly choose one of the subscribers and send it to you. All you need to do is tell me what colors you want it in and what pattern, and I'll make it and ship it out to you. Just as a thank you to my followers for helping me out in this little endeavor. So let's see. Cliffhanger for this video. What's going to happen at the southern border? Is the Empire going to invade? Is Lord Thomas correct and his assumption and how he's handled the Rifters and repairing the damage from the rifts? Where is Ilibryns? Disappeared after the Dream Spire, hasn't been seen since. And can you find out exactly how far back and how close a relative to an elder fae she has? Those stories hopefully will be answered as we continue on with the campaign diaries of the Wandering Few. I've been Haven the Hare. Thank you so much for watching, and may you make all of life saving. Greetings and salutations. I am Haven the Hare, and welcome to a new series of campaign diaries. Yes, I am a glutton for punishment, so I am actually currently running 2 campaigns right now. Oh, fuck. I really should have introduced the cast of characters at the beginning of this. Fuck. Start here, Haven. This cast of characters was assembled. Why am I telling you the first batch? That's the beginning of this. We should talk about the ones that are in this. Damn it. Fuck.